Hello, Varsha.
Yes, sir.
Ask them to join immediately. It's already
Yes,
10
sir.
minutes. It's
Yes,
10
sir.
minutes late. Ask them to join immediately. Sneha, you also late, huh? Which class you had before this? Okay. So let us start the session. Let them join. No. So, okay. So in the last class, we discussed, about the introduction part of environmental studies. As I told you that there are almost all your projects are related to the, environmental. I mean, you are with the community and you are with, public interaction project. Okay. So let us, have a discussion on that. That's complete of, ecology, environment, desert, and also for, okay, right. Okay, let me start with what are the EVS studies for that. EVS means it's environmental studies, and environment is nothing but it's a surrounding as whatever we have seen there. That's complete. We call it as an environment. Either it may be the it may be a forest, or it may be a desert, or it may be wetland, dry land, desert areas. These are all called, we call it as an ecosystems. The voice is audible, Shanmati? Voice is
Yes.
audible? Okay. Uh, yeah. These are all, the ecosystem. We are living, in the very good ecosystem that's called, the nature. We call it as a nature. So nature, another terminology, we call it as, what do you say that it's called, environment. It is, it's the surrounding us, whatever we have seen, that's called our environment. And environment as a sum of the total of water, air, land, and their interrelationship among themselves. That's, we call it as an, the environment. Okay. And environmental science is a systematic study of our environment and our place in it. And mainly it's in living and non-living things. And it also applies, what you call this as science, as it takes, seeks a practical answer to making the human civilization, sustainable on the Earth's, finite resources. Okay, as we discussed that air, water, land, and life, these are all the natural resources. Okay, and also it is important component which includes biology. It's called plants and animals. Geology, it's the study of earth, rocks, minerals, and then chemistry is there, and physics, engineering. Okay, in engineering there are different branches and sectors are there, and also the sociology, okay, and health and community, and anthropology. That means from the how the civilization, how the revolution has has been happened from the olden days to the till date, and like man to the sorry, the monkey to the man, like that. So economics, so what is the economics in the countries, and the statistics, and the computers, and the philosophies. Okay, some more revolutions. So what is the environment that we discussed in the last class? That's called your atmosphere, biosphere, and also the lithospheres. Okay. Then we discussed hydrosphere. Also we discussed lithosphere, study of Earth and subsurface of the Earth, and biosphere. Also we discuss, okay, living the organisms and their interaction with the environment. Okay. So and the all together, the environmental science. It is a multidisciplinary nature that's called your, ecology, biology, chemistry, atmospheric science, oceanography, geology, anthropology, archaeology, sociology, history, political science, engineering, economics, and ethics. So altogether, we call it as an environmental science that we are going to study it. This environmental study is a very good part of your the curriculum, because of you are handling the most of the what you call this projects with the community and related projects, and also the you are working with the natures, the ecosystems completely, right? These are the things. What is there in the what you call before this? What is there in the ecosystem? Let's go back to the ecosystems. Yeah. Let me share the screen now so that you can. Yeah. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here in the ecosystems, we have the So we have different types of ecosystems here. One is terrestrial ecosystems, forest ecosystems, grassland, desert, tundra ecosystems, freshwater, and marine ecosystems. These are all the different types of ecosystems. And we have seen in the some students you might have seen in the live, or it may be some are with in the televisions. Okay, all ecosystems are not available in all the places. So it's scattered in everywhere of the part of the world, and also in India. So here is a terrestrial ecosystems, right? So it is this type of an ecosystem is based, land is based in community of organisms and the interaction of biotic and abiotic components of a given area. Say for example, terrestrial ecosystem includes tundra, tags, temperature, deciduous, forest, tropical, everything it includes. This is a terrestrial includes. Okay, rain, forest, grassland, and everything. Okay, and the next one is that the forest ecosystems. So I think if there is no forest, if there is no greeneries, if there is no trees, there is no greeneries and the grasses on the earth, it is very difficult to survive for the man on the earth, because it gives us the oxygen for us. Okay, the forest ecosystem describes the community of the plants. Community, different varieties of plants. Even if you take the example of our campus, BMSIT campus, have the varieties of plants. You might have noticed, you might have seen most of the our the trees in the BMSIT campus have different name. Okay, okay, that is because anybody can understand. Yes, this is this plant. Okay, this belongs to this. It may not be. You may not be. Identify or justify that. Yes, this is from this family or whatever the things. But directly, you can identify from the yes. It's a neem tree or it is an eucalyptus. Many things are there. So here is that plants, animals, microbes, and all other organisms in interaction with the chemical and physical features of the environment. Okay, the forest ecosystem, it involves with the plants, animals, microbes, and all other organisms in interaction with the chemical and physical features of the environment. Specifically, the terrestrial environment dominated by trees growing the closed areas. Okay, so it is generally the forest and forest ecosystem and biodiversity that are reducing the emissions. Especially if you take the the Bangalore cities, because of this much of greenery, we are still better than Delhi. I would say it is better than Delhi. Otherwise, like it's full of carbon dioxide is involved. But if you compare in the 2000 to 2020, 2000 is the best one because this is full of greeneries, less population, less pollution, and less vehicles. And it was more trees were there in the Bangalore city. Okay, this is how the one of the best green city, and which you have maintained in the 2000. Okay, so right then grassland ecosystems. This is another type of ecosystem where the vegetation is dominated by grasses and other like non-woody plants. Okay, it is also called transitional landscapes because grassland ecosystems are dominated by the grass with a few, or it may not be the trees there, where there is not enough for the forest and too much of forest. So what is the use of this grassland or the forest ecosystems? It protects the soil erosion from the rain. So there are many benefits from the forest that we have seen that. So it protects the soil erosion from the land, and it also protects the water erosion, and also it provides the high quality, relatively inexpensive feed for the livestock and wildlife, and also for us. Okay, and it provides a wildlife habitat. It helps maintain the soil fertility because of it increases higher levels of soil organics matters for the crops. There are a lot of benefits from the forest and from the ecosystems. We need to understand and we need to protect our the ecosystems, maybe the plants, maybe the grass, maybe the birds and animals. Okay, that's the six terms. That's birds and animals, or the ecology and environment department. Say. And there's another ecosystem called the freshwater one, which are the freshwater ecosystems. It's a subset of what you call this Earth's aquatic ecosystems. They include the lake, ponds, river, streams, springs, bogs, and wetlands. All together we call it the freshwater ecosystems. All right. So they can be contrasted with marine ecosystems, which have a larger salt content there. Marine ecosystems. Okay, and yeah. Yes, these are all freshwater ecosystems, and this is how there's a coastal areas, most of the places, and some places river, okay, and some places in the reservoir, or it may we can call it as the lakes, ponds. In the rural areas, you can see the many ponds, water bodies, okay, and nearby the rivers, there will be wetlands surrounding that, and especially in the coastal areas, there will be most of the maybe a kilometer or more than a kilometer, you can see the wetlands nearby that. Okay, that's called your backwater. When the river is going to join for the sea, there will be a lot of wetlands happening there in this. If you see the Goa, the best examples you can see that. From old Goa to new Goa, there will be a lot of wetlands. Okay, that is a thing. And yeah, going back. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, and there will be another ecosystem which is called marine ecosystems. So in marine ecosystems, which are considered to be the habitats that are complete the large systems from the shores to the dark sea floors. That means from the beach to the end of in the mid of the the shores. Okay, mid of the sea. That is completely habitats that completes the large ecosystems are there. Okay, the marine ecosystem that includes the marshes, tidal zones, and also the mangroves forest inside the what you call this. Here you can see in the picture in the sea itself. There is a big the many lives the you know what you call this coral reefs and sea grass beds, sea floors, lagoons, and tidal zones, marshes, fishes. There is another, the world is there in down below the water, especially in the seas. You can see this. right? And another one called the Tundra ecosystems, which are, there is a, this, especially this, Tundra ecosystems, it's a treeless, no trees are there. It's a open land, okay? Treeless regions found in the, Arctic and on the top of the mountains, where the climate is cold and windy and rain is scant. It's a very less rainfall. So it's very less rainfall. You can see the ecosystems. There are some the animals are living in the cold countries, like a penguin and other animals. Okay, those are all there. They are set up there. The what you call complete. They are used to stay in the, such cold countries, and that's very difficult part. Okay, tundra ecosystems, it's a treeless regions where we need found in the cold countries. I would say it's a cold countries. Okay, not only in Arctic, and you can see anywhere in the cold countries. Okay, and this tundra land are covered with the snow for much of the years. But summer brings the burst of the wildflowers. At summer seasons, you can see the flowers, but rest of the years it will be any cold and it will be in snowfalls. That is how the things. So if you take the earth, the next part is that whatever you can see on the systems, the ecosystem on the earth surface, okay, that is all helpful and for living us. I mean, the mans and animals, plants and animals on the earth, whatever we are, breathing, the fresh air, the good environment, that is because of the ecosystem. If there is any imbalance in the ecosystems, there will be a lot of problems in the nature, I mean, in the environment, and it will affect us and also for animals. Okay, it's a very dangerous part. Sometimes, the nature, if it angries, it may be happen many things. Heavy rain, there will be a floods, there will be coastal erosion, there will be a lot of problems. Okay, there are many things are there. Okay, sometimes no rain, there will be a big problems. That's a drought. No crops, no food grains. No food grains means it's difficult to survive the life. So no water, no life, like that. Some extent you can survive the life without water, but without air you can't survive the life. Not even 10 minutes, I think. Okay, but without water you can survive for many days. Okay, these are all the natural resources. We were not at all, bothering actually. We're not at all, aware, like, yes, what is there? With no trees, no problem. We can cut the trees and do whatever we want. One day we are going to suffer it. That should not happen. Okay, we need to, keep the environment safe and protect for us, for our next generation also. So the next part is the Earth. That is the third planet on the from the Sun, and the only astronomical objects known as an where there is a life. According to the radiometric dating of estimation and other evidences, Earth was formed 4.5 billion years ago. 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was formed. Okay, this is based on the radiometric dating estimation, and there are some other evidences. Okay, so 4.5 billion years ago. Just keep it in mind, and you need to understand the things. Okay, okay. Then, so on the land and the surface of the areas, our surface, the land is covered with a 148.9 million square kilometer, and the radius will be 6,371 kilometer, and the age is, as you told, this is 4.5 billion years ago. Okay, and the distance from the sun is 149.6 million kilometer, and population, as per the 2018 from the World Bank, it is 759.43 crores. Okay, this is on the Earth. This is what we discuss about the definition of environment and other parts. Okay, this we discussed there. It's also discussed there. Yeah, let's come to the forest resources. What is the uses of forest resources? If there is a forest, like, forest resources use and over exploitation, deforestation studies, timber extraction, mining and dams, and their effects on forest and tribal people, and Forest Conservation Act. There are many things. What is the use of the forest? According to the report from the 2019, the total forest cover of the country is that it is around 712,000, 7,12,249 square kilometer. This is a forest area in our country. Okay, and yes, in the especially in the 21%, 21.67% of total of India's geographical areas. Okay, and yes, it was slightly up from 2017 to 2018. Yeah, in 2018, 19, it is a little bit up. That means about, yeah. And how much is, that is about 12 plus here, how much is 8. Okay, and 2000, okay, and 14 something, 14,000 square kilometers increase there. Okay, and the Mizoram has the, has nearly 90% of the area is under forest. That is a state, followed by the Arunachal Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh is the largest area under forest. Okay, that is as per the 2019 data. But still, Karnataka and other states have the less than that. Okay, and what is the uses of forest? We depend on the forest for our survival, from the air, and we breathe to for us that. And besides, we providing the habitat of for animals and livelihoods. Okay, and for humans, and also the forest offers a watershed protection, prevent soil erosion, and mitigate the climate change. Okay, these are the major uses from the forest. Okay, right, and yeah, that's what we did that. Okay, and now let's go back to the next part of that. Yes, uses of forest, that we checked it. Uses of forest, yeah, that we prevention, control of soil erosion, flood controls also we can, and check for the spread of the desert, increase of soil fertility, effect on climates, improvement in groundwater level, and that's a recharging of groundwaters. That is another point. So when it comes to the wetland, what is there in the wetlands? Okay, in the wetlands, there will be UNEP, the World Conservation Monitoring, Center has suggested the estimate of about 570 million hectares. Okay, roughly about 5.7 million square kilometer of the wetlands in it. Okay, so 6% roughly of the 6% of the earth land surfaces, and which are 2% is lake, 30% is bogs, and 26% fens, and swampy land, that's about 20%, and floodplain lands, it's about 15%. Okay, and the Panthala is the world's largest wetlands of any kind, and lying mostly in the western Brazil, but extended into the Bolivia and Paraguay as well. Okay, this is about wetlands, and the wetlands biomass includes the swamps, bogs, and marshes. Okay, many wetlands serve as a reservoir also. For excessive rainfall, to prevent the floodings, we arrest the water and keep it as a reservoir for that. If you have the more dams, we can reserve more, keep the water more arresting, and we can use it for for irrigation purpose, and also for many agriculture purpose, industrial purpose also. But costing of the dam, construction of the dam is so high, and it's a difficult part. For each and every step we need to consider. So wetland biomass appears every continent except Antarctica, and it's common to find out the wetland biomass situated in another ones. That's what. At least, yeah, this is hydraulic soils and those things. Okay, so wetlands in the very important ones in Canada, Russia, and Botswana, Peru. This is a major one. This is the biggest, the 13,000 hectares, and 10,000, 6,000, and 6,759 hectares of, 1,000 hectares of the wetlands you can see in the, Canada, Russia, Botswana, and even in Peru also. And what is the uses of wetlands? What is there in the wetlands? Why we require the wetlands? I mean, wetlands are, indisciplinable for the countless benefits for our ecosystems. Especially, they provide, humanity ranging from freshwater, freshwater supply, and food and building materials, biodiversity. We have that, and to control the flood, okay, groundwater recharge, climate change mitigations. You can see this forest, ecosystems, forest, and wetlands. These are the most, important for us to live happily on the surface of the earth. Okay. Then when it comes to the desert. Okay, it is another part of in the ecosystems. Okay, desert is the barren land. Nothing is there. Desert is a barren area of landscape where the, little bit, rainfall will be there. Little precipitation occurs, very little. And consequently, living conditions are hostile for plant and animals in the particular areas, especially there is a, where there is a desert area. Because the lack of vegetation exposes to the unprotected surface of the ground to process the degradations. If there is no plants and on the surface of the earth, it's very difficult, as I told you in the beginning of this class. Okay, so it's very difficult. Even if you take the Rajasthan desert, it's very difficult to survive there. I mean, some part of the Rajasthan, not entire state of Rajasthan, some part of Rajasthan where there is a desert area is very difficult. It's too hot, and for scarcity of water is very low. Lot of scarcity of water. No water at all. First of all, okay, that's very difficult to get it. Okay, that is how the desert life. That's a very hostile for the plants and animals. How we can, okay, desert. It's also known as Great Indian Desert. Is large arid regions in the northeastern part of the Indian subcontinent that covers an area of it's 2 lakh square kilometer. Okay, especially in the Punjab, Rajasthan, and even in Gujarat, it's a border of that. And famous deserts in India and the world. In India, we have the, I told you that in India we have the Rajasthan, Punjab, and Gujarat. But whereas when it comes to the desert in the rest of the world, it's a Gobi Desert, even in Mongolia, Gobi Desert in Mongolia and part of the China, the Kalahari Desert, and it's especially in the Angola, Botswana, and Namibia, and even South Africa. Great Victoria Desert, that's in Australia. Okay, Patagonian Desert, it's in Argentina and Chile. And both the border, they have shared this great, deserts. So these are the, list of famous deserts in the India and as well as the world. And what is the use of this desert? What is the use? Okay, if it is a barren land, there is no trees, no rain, no agriculture, hostile for the, very difficult to survive the life for the animals and the life there. What is the use of that desert? We can convert the desert into the tourist place, visiting such as the Death Valley militaries as they test out the aeroplanes and train troops, hikers, rock climbers. Okay, off the road vehicles you can do that and include the quick bikes and motorbikes, making use of the varied terrains. And the most important thing in the desert areas, you can do the what you call this. Solar and wind energy generations, because there is a huge what you call the wind. It's most of the time is windy nature there in the desert areas, and solar and wind energies. It's the very best place in the desert areas. Windy, you can the windmill generations, energy generation, electricity with high heat. So solar panels, you can fix the solar plant there. You can generate the what you call electricity there. Okay, this is another taking the advantage of barren land. You can utilize in other ways. Okay, and for the film shootings also, and this is the most very good place for that. Okay, that is the things. And the dry condition of desert helps to promote the formation and concentration of many important minerals like gypsum, borates, nitrates, potassium, and other salt built up in the desert. When the water carrying these minerals evaporates, and minimal vegetation has also made it easier to extract some of the most important minerals from the deserts. In Rajasthan, there is a copper, lead, zinc. You might have heard these, what you call these minerals: copper, lead, and zinc. These minerals are very rich available in Rajasthan state. Okay, and also there is potassium also there. Okay, right, and some of the private companies are doing and even with state government, Rajasthan state government is also carrying out that's called potassium exploration and mining things there. Okay, that's a very good part. But what would happen if if there are no deserts? If there are no deserts, all of the plants, all of the life, plants and animals that adopted the desert environment would either die or adapt to the different environment. Yes, it's just like a man; they can adapt, different way of life, surviving the life. Okay, desert form because of location of mountains, and also the because of the way air circulates around the planet. This is how desert will form, and yeah, man will start altered or changing their life. Okay, based on the environment, the living standards, living conditions. Okay, if no water, I mean, say for example, if this year no water, I mean very limited water, of course you are going to adjust yourself. No, if there is no water, how you are going to survive? With the limited water you are going to survive, right? So no BMTC transportation bus. Instead of 100 buses, if they leave for, if they provide for only 10 buses, of course you are going to adjust yourself. You are changing the way of life. Okay, changing yourself, and the other people also will change their life. Okay, if there is any resources are there, definitely the people will utilize that. They will use it. If no resources are there, and they will definitely they are going to adjust themselves or change their lifestyles and change their everything for that, the living standards, maybe the rented house, whatever the things. Okay, this is how the natures. Okay, we need to protect the forest, water, okay, and our environment. So definitely it will protect us. So this is all about the today's class, and uh, in the next class, let's go with different topics. Okay, and yes, this is just let me take you that in there.